What's going on, guys? MJ300 here, and welcome to a brand new episode of our Arsenal Road to Glory series. So we are in year number 3 now, and we are halfway through the season, all the way up to January and the January transfer window. You can see here we're going to be kicking off our FA Cup campaign very shortly. But just a quick recap of where we are in the season at the moment. So everything's going pretty well. We're in the knockout stages of the Champions League. We're into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, and we're currently sitting second in the Premier League. But there was one particular piece of business that took place in the last video that we need to go and rectify right now, and that was the sale of Thomas Lemar. So if you recall, he came in, he said he was unhappy with us last year. We gave him a few minutes and he got happy. He got happier again. Then the same thing happened this year. He started moaning about his minutes, was very unhappy, demanded a move away. And then shortly after that, Barcelona came in with an offer of £82.7 million. We negotiated that back to £87 million. And you can see there, he has now left, gone to Barcelona for an awful lot of money. But that does mean now we have a position to fill at number 10. So with that in mind, we did go ahead and scout some players. So these are the players that we had shortlisted and we looked at last time. So we have Jack Grealish here from Villa, James Maddison, who is now currently at Inter Milan, and Memphis Depay, who is at Lyon. So we all know what Jack Grealish is about. He's been really good in the Premier League this year. We look at his stats here, you can see, he's got decent pace, he's very agile on the ball. He's a good passer of the ball. He's a good dribbler of the ball. Not the best shot, but yeah, definitely a very good player. Look at James Maddison. Again, very similar. Very good balance, very good agility. Excellent vision there at 95. A pretty good dribbler of the ball as well. Not quite as good as Grealish, but definitely got good ball control. A great passer and a good long-range shot taker. Memphis Depay, the quickest of the lot, again, not quite as good, not quite as agile or as balanced as the other guys. Still good vision, great dribbler, the best dribbler of the three. Passing, not quite so good, but finishing is the best. So I think what it basically comes down to is Memphis Depay is probably more traditionally a winger. He's got a good shot and a good dribbler, not quite such a good passer of the ball, but he does have the playmaker trait, as you can see there. So he would definitely be good almost as like a second striker. And then Maddison and Grealish, they are the more true playmaker in behind the main striker. So with that in mind, Grealish is like Maddison, but slightly worse. So we're going to remove him. So now it comes down to, do we want someone that can be a second striker or someone that's going to be a true number 10? Now, when we've been using Julian Brandt, he is definitely that playmaker and he's been so good. So if I can bring in a player that is a similar quality and ability to him, then I'd be very happy. I mean, Brandt is without doubt our best signing of his career mode. He's just so good. And the link up he had with Aubameyang in the first 2 years is the reason we've won all the trophies. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and try and buy James Maddison. He's going to cost an awful lot of money. But then again, we did get £75 million or £77 million from the Lemar sale. So I don't care. Even if I have to spend that amount of money, it's going to be money well spent. We'll start with an offer of, we'll go 62 million. So quite a bit above his value. We'll see what they say to that, 62. And they want 71. So hopefully we can meet them somewhere in the middle there. I've gone back with an offer of 66 and they're happy to accept it. So obviously it's an awful lot of money, especially for a player that in theory is going to be behind Brandt in the squad. But the way I look at it is, we've basically got Maddison and 10 million for Thomas Lemar. So that's good business in my books. We're just going to go in here now and negotiate his contract. Okay, so he's accepted the important role, the 4-year contract, and he wanted a release clause, but I denied that. So when you deny that, you do have to offer him a little bit more money. So I'm going to give him a signing bonus of 2 million and a wage of 100,000 a week. Let's see what he says to that. And he's happy. So that was nice and easy. James Maddison, welcome to Arsenal. And now we've done our business there in replacing Thomas Lemar, we now move into our game against Peterborough. Now, I'm not going to give James Maddison his debut in this game. This is definitely a game for our fringe players, our youngsters to get some minutes on the pitch against lower league opposition. But after this game, we have the first round of a semi-final of the Carabao Cup against Chelsea, which you'll see in just a moment. And therefore, that will be the perfect game for his debut. So this is the team that we're going to be going with against Peterborough today. So we've got Perrin in goal, Gaia, Ake, Demirel, Klosterman at the back, Barella, Willock, Martinelli, Smith-Rowe and Trincao in the middle of the park, and Nketiah up top. So we'll simulate this in here. Like I said, third round of the FA Cup. Obviously, we are the defending champions, so we want to have another deep run this season. And we start off our defence in emphatic fashion with a 4-0 win over Peterborough. Trincao, Martinelli, Smith-Rowe, and Aubameyang off the bench get the goals. Okay, so here we are now. As I mentioned, the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup is up next, and we have been drawn against Chelsea. So a quick look there at what the other tie is looking like, and it is the Manchester derby, Man City and Man United. And Man City have already played their first leg and have a 3-0 advantage. So it looks like City are on their way to the final, and obviously we have a London City derby here. Arsenal against Chelsea. This is the team we're going to be going with, so it's our second 11, as we always do in the Cup. But still, obviously now, as we continue to build our squad, it gets stronger and stronger. We have Perrin, Gaia, Ake, Demiral, Klosterman, Torreira, Barella, Martinelli, Trincao, Maddison for his debut, and Aubameyang up top. So let's jump straight into this now. Obviously, it's the Carabao Cup, which means it's a two-legged affair. So at home first, really important that we get ourselves into a good position to progress to the final. So I thought we'd have a quick look at the Chelsea team, see if they're rotating everything, and it doesn't look like it. It's a very strong team. Kepa in goal, Roussillon at left back with Upamecano and Tomori in the middle, and Maatsen at right back, Kante, Mount, Kovacic in the middle of the park, Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi on the wings. And look at that, Luis Suarez is a new signing for Chelsea. He returns to the Premier League and he leads the line up top. So very strong side. Let's get into this now and see if we can get ourselves a result. Here is Maddison early. He's got some time to run at their defence. He hits one and it's deflected. Upamecano puts it behind. Really promising start from a new Arsenal signing there. Here is Maddison now. Lays it into Barella, who runs at Chelsea's defence. He's got through. Can he finish? He's still got the ball, dips it back to Aubameyang. And Chelsea just about get it away. Here is Aubameyang. And Trincao. And Martinelli now. Can he finish? Oh, well saved, Kepa. Barella. Into Aubameyang. Into Maddison. What a touch that is. Can he now? Oh, he's cut it back to Barella. I thought the chance had gone. Wasn't the pass I was aiming for, but Barella with a cracking finish from the edge of the area. I was trying to slip this through to Aubameyang. Actually cut it back, but Barella with a fantastic finish on his weaker foot. Look at this. Right into the side netting, out of the reach of Kepa, and it is 1-0 to Arsenal. Let's put it into Aubameyang. Aubameyang using his pace. He's gone over the top towards Martinelli. He's got there. Can he finish? Oh, Kepa is out quickly to smother the chance. Pulisic gets it away. Barella. It's Maddison. He'll look to bend one. And it's just wide. It's been a really promising opening half an hour for James Maddison. Hudson-Odoi. Good challenge, Gaia. Keep the run going. It's Martinelli. Can you find Jose Gaia through the middle? He's kept it going all the way from left back. Jose Gaia. Oh, and he should have gone for goal. He tried to roll it across for Maddison. And the chance is gone. What a chance. Just hit the ball. And there it is. There is the half-time whistle. Arsenal going at the break with a 1-0 lead. But really, it should have been more. There was a great chance for Jose Gaia right at the end of the first half. But like a defender, or a typical defender, he didn't know what to do when he got into the box. And the chance was gone. Maddison impressive in the opening 45 as well. A couple of efforts and also the assist to Barella. And Arsenal are 45 minutes away from giving themselves a good advantage in this semi-final. Here is Pulisic now. He's found some space in the area. Ake with a crucial block. Suarez was just waiting for that in the middle. And Torreira can now bring it away. And James Maddison, can he set away Aubameyang? He can. Has Aubameyang still got the legs? I don't think he has. But helps there, Trincao. Oh, Tomori with a great challenge. It's Trincao. We'll go out wide to Klosterman. Back inside to Maddison. He'll cut back. Into Aubameyang. To Martinelli. Towards the back post. Oh, and Trincao can't quite apply the finish. Oh, and here comes Chelsea now. It's into the 90th minute. Melenda, though, he's found some space. Cuts it back to Suarez. It's blocked. And Perrin collects. There it is. That is the final whistle. Arsenal managed to hold a slender advantage going into the second leg of this Carabao Cup semi-final. Wasn't the best second half, to be honest. It was a little bit sloppy from us, giving the ball away, not able to find the final pass, but the damage was done in the first half when Maddison played a good role in Barella's finish. And the main thing is we didn't concede that away goal, so all we need to do now is go to Stamford Bridge, avoid the defeat, and we'll be into the final. Okay, here we are now, back to Premier League action in January, and you can see there we are currently sitting in second position. We are 4 points behind City, Unfortunately, we did drop a few points in December. We had that draw against Spurs and that draw against West Ham, which did mean that we've fallen behind a little bit. So jump into this here, gone back to our first team. I'd expect them to get the win over Burnley. Do we get it done? We do. We win 2-1. Brandt and Saliba score, but Saliba does get sent off, and with 10 men for the final half an hour, Burnley pushed everyone forward. Fernandes scored 8 minutes from time, but we hold on for the 2-1 victory. Now, if you recall, at the end of the last video, we spoke about our striker and Jovic and how, despite him having the stats, I personally haven't quite got to grips with playing with him. Doesn't seem that the simulation engine is being too kind for him. You know, if you remember in seasons gone by, Aubameyang's always been right at the top of the Premier League goal scoring charts. I mean, he's scoring close to a goal a game, but in this, Jovic is nowhere to be seen, which means in the Premier League, he has scored 5 goals and had 2 assists in 13 games. Now, of those 5 goals as well, I've scored 2 of them. We scored against, I think it was United and Chelsea. And in a simulation game, he scored a hat-trick against Bournemouth. So that means in 13 games, he's actually only scored in 3 games, which for an 88 overall striker that costs us £60 million, it's just not good enough. Like I said, Aubameyang has scored more goals. He's scored 8 goals and 9 goals overall. So I think that maybe just Jovic isn't the right striker for us. Now, I'm not going to do anything too rash and just sell him off in January. I think we give him to the end of the season. But have a look at this for something that is absolutely crazy. Kylian Mbappe has got 6 months left on his contract, and we could therefore sign him on a pre-contract agreement. Now, obviously, with the current outbreak of coronavirus, teams are looking for players that are available on free in order to save money. And Paris Saint-Germain, for whatever reason, they've not been able to secure Mbappe. He's obviously not happy in France, and he's looking for a move elsewhere. And what better team for him to come to than the defending European champions, the champions of England, Arsenal Football Club. Obviously, he was linked to Arsenal back when he was just an 18-year-old before he went to Paris Saint-Germain, and maybe he can finally come to the team and look to emulate his hero Thierry Henry. So some might say this is a little bit unrealistic. I've tried to keep it realistic throughout the series so far, but when someone of that quality is available to sign, I think I've got to go and do it. Let's jump in here. Let's see what we can do. Obviously, his contract is very high, but so we'll go crucial. We'll go 5 years. So he's currently on 250,000 a week now. So obviously, we're not paying anything to sign him. So I think I'm willing to offer him a signing bonus of £5 million. You know, effectively, we're buying Mbappe for £5 million. And then wages, we'll offer him 175,000 a week. It's a lot less than he's on in Paris Saint-Germain, but players often are happy to take pay cuts. So let's see what he says to that. If he doesn't accept it, we can obviously always go ahead and renegotiate. And we're close. We're not a million miles away. He wants a goal bonus. We're not giving him a goal bonus. We pay him 100 odd grand a week to score goals. He doesn't get an extra bonus. So let's go with 180,000 then. And he accepts it. So there we go. Kylian Mbappe will be joining Arsenal in the summer. What a signing that will be. So that gives Jovic 6 months to prove whether or not he has a place at Arsenal. Obviously, he won't be first choice. Mbappe is going to be first choice. If I end up using Jovic, then he was in the squad and he'll be a good alternative because we've got Mbappe, who is quick and agile, and then you've got Jovic that's not quite as quick, but he's a stronger player. So if he doesn't live up to the hype, then we'll just look to offload him in the summer. But there we go. That is probably the craziest signing we've done. Well, it is without doubt the craziest signing we have done in this career mode. What an addition he will be for the final 2 years of this Road to Glory series. But anyway, before we get too excited about that, we do have a Premier League match to worry about now. We are home to Leicester. We'll go over this here. Obviously, Leicester, a very good side. They're on a bit of a decent run. They've won their last 2, but we smashed them this time 5-0. And Jovic, look at that, inspired by the signing of Mbappe, grabbed himself 2 goals. Brandt, Pepe and Neves also on the score sheet. And then to compound Leicester's misery, Perez missed a penalty as well. So next up, we now have Everton in the Premier League. So not necessarily the easiest games. Leicester and then Everton. Let's have a look and see where they are sitting in the league. Oh, wow. They're struggling quite a bit. Look at that. Only 14 points. 2 points above the relegation zone. 4 wins all season. That is very surprising. I don't know who's in their squad right now, but I would have imagined them to have been much higher. I've just noticed poor Stoke City. 23 games in, and they still haven't even won a game. Looks like they could be on track for a new record low in the Premier League. They'll almost certainly be going down. But anyway, we're not playing them just yet. We are playing Everton. So we'll jump into this here. Simulation again. Going with the first team. We need to catch up City, make some ground on them, and we win again. Jovic on the score sheet again. He is inspired since he heard that Arsenal have agreed terms with Mbappe. Ceballos and Neves get the other 3, and another convincing win for Arsenal. So here we are now. We are back in FA Cup action into round 4, and we've been given a home tie here against West Bromwich Albion. So obviously cup competition gives us an opportunity to rotate it, give some younger players a chance. This is the team we're going to be going with. So hopefully these guys will be able to get the job done here. Lower league opposition, and we do. We win 4-0. Gaia, Barella, Smith Rowe, and then Ceballos on the score sheet. And it's been some pretty convincing displays of late from Arsenal. 4-0, 5-0, 4-0 in our last 3 games. And we move on to the next round of the FA Cup. And cup competition continues here, as you can see, with our second leg tie here against Chelsea. Now, obviously, we are 1-0 up from the first leg that we won at home. This time, we have to visit Stamford Bridge. And we're going to go with our second 11 there, as we did in the first leg. That is the team there on the screen. Pretty confident that we should be able to get the job done. So let's jump into this now. We are 90 minutes away from a trip to Wembley. And just a very quick look at the Chelsea team that we're going to be going up against today. And it looks like they have made a couple of changes from the first leg. Zappacosta comes in at right back, and Martinez starts ahead of Suarez up top. Here come Chelsea now with Mount. Always found Pulisic inside. He goes into Martinez, hits one. And Perrin is forced to make the save, low down to his right. Aubameyang into Maddison. Can Arsenal counter now? It's out wide to Trincao. He's got past the sliding challenge. He'll go back to Maddison. He'll go one more to Martinelli. Oh, and it's Kepa with the save. Really swift counter-attack there from Arsenal. With Kante and Zappacosta. Oh, and they've got past him 1-2. That's trying to block it. Kovacic. And Mount with the shot, and it's over. And there it is. There is the half-time whistle. Chelsea have absolutely bossed this half. I don't think, other than that one sort of chance I had, but I've even really got in their half, not been able to get the ball. And when I have got the ball, they've got it back off me very quickly. I think we're lucky to go in at the break. The only thing that they haven't been able to do is really test Leno. So I'm thankful for that, but we need to come out in the second half and play much better. So yeah, look at that. 28% possession. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have not been able to get the ball off them. And Klosterman has been sent off. It's a ridiculous decision from the referee. He's gone to ground, yes, but the player's just tripped over him. I can't believe he sent him off. That changes it even more now. We've got to play the last half an hour with 10 men. And it's fallen to Martinez. So obviously after that sending off, we have to sacrifice one of our attacking players to bring on a new defender. So Rob Holding's going to come on. And Martinelli is the man to go off. It's Maddison into Torreira. Aubameyang is all on his own out there. But Trincao's been fed through on the right-hand side. He'll cut inside. Can he finish? Trincao! Oh, saved by the keeper. Barella. Aubameyang. It's Torreira now. He can hit one. Oh, and he's forced to save out of Kepa. Arsenal actually come to life since they've gone down to 10 men. What a ball that is to Pulisic. Oh, and Ake is in the way. Here's Torreira. Go outside. Trincao puts the cross in towards Maddison. Heads it down, but easy for Kepa. Into the 90th minute now, into added time. Can Arsenal hold on? Good challenge, Demiral. Oh no, and Ake's giving it straight away to Pulisic. Back to Suarez. Oh, and it's intercepted. That should be it, surely, and it is. The 10-man of Arsenal hold on for what might be considered a boring 0-0 draw, but ultimately it was enough to see them through to the final, and that's all that really matters. We actually were a better team once we went down to 10 men. I think we had a little bit more of a ball. We tested Kepa a couple of times. But he was equal to it. But it didn't matter in the end because Chelsea couldn't find a breakthrough at our end, and we are on our way to Wembley. And there we go. There's confirmation, as we probably expected, that City are through to the final. 1-1 in the second leg, so a 4-1 aggregate win. So it will be Arsenal versus Man City in the Carabao Cup final. And we have another Premier League game now here up against Southampton. We have to keep pace with City at the top of the table. The gap is still 4 points. So jump into this here. Can we get ourselves another 3 points? We can. We win 2-0. So Bios and Brandt both on the score sheet. Okay, so here we are now. We are up to the transfer deadline day. And to be honest, other than the business we did at the very start, obviously signing Maddison and getting that pre-contract with Mbappe, I don't think there's any business we need to do. I mean, look at that team there. Is there really anywhere we can improve? And if you look at the second team as well, again, everyone is pretty high rated. Unless we get any offers in for any of our players that I decide to accept, I think it will be keeping the same team until the end of the season. So 1 hour left. Doesn't look like there's going to be any dealings for Arsenal. We'll have a quick look and see what the big deals are here. And you saw on the bottom right hand screen possibly before, Valverde has left Real Madrid and gone to Inter Milan for £85.2 million. So it looks like he's gone in as a replacement to Inter for Maddison. And there's another big deal. Kevin De Bruyne leaving Manchester City. Even though he's only 30, he's gone to Real Madrid for £77 million. So that's a big loss for City. I don't know who they're going to replace him with. Inter Milan, as well as losing Maddison, they've also lost Lukaku. He's gone to Leipzig for 57.4. Roberto Firmino's gone to Dortmund for 53. And then the last couple of deals there, Zinchenko has gone from PSG to Juventus for 42, and Heung-min Son has gone to Paris Saint-Germain from Spurs for 42 million. Okay, so we simulated through the rest of the January transfer window now. We have our squad, we have our team for the rest of the season. So let's get into the rest of February and March in this video now and see how we progress in our various competitions. Okay, so here we go now. Let's return to Premier League action with an away tie against Newcastle. And as I mentioned just before the transfer window, the transfer deadline window, we are still 4 points behind. So it's absolutely critical that we continue to win, continue to keep the pressure on Manchester City at the top of the table. And we do. We win 4-1. Jovic on the score sheet again. He's starting to score the goals now. Starting to show what he can do. Bellerin and Saka also on the score sheet. Lauren for Newcastle. 4-1 to Arsenal. Okay, so here we are now. We are up to the round of 16, the knockout stages of the Champions League, and we have been drawn against Napoli. With the away leg coming up first, it's just important that we manage to stay in the tie. See if we can get ourselves an away goal and then finish the tie off when we come back to the Emirates. So we're going to be going with our best team. There's a few players that are a little bit fatigued there, but not too worried about it. We're going to get through this Champions League game. Come on, boys. Let's just get ourselves something to take back to the Emirates. And do we ever? We win 4-2 in Naples. What a result that is. Jovic, Brandt, Neves, Kimpembe all on the score sheet. Puts us in a really good position heading into the second leg. So this is where we need to use our squad and rotate around and make sure we keep everyone fresh, but also more importantly, keep everyone happy. We have a home tie here against Crystal Palace with the return leg in the Champions League coming up. So this is the time to use our second 11, rotate it around. As I mentioned to you before, all of those players are still quality players. As you can see, with the exception of Demirel, every outfield player is at least an 85, Perrin an 84. Against Palace, a team near the bottom of the table, you can also see there, City, although they're 5 points clear, they've played a game more. That means they've actually dropped some points. They've drawn a game. Really good opportunity now for us to close the gap on them. And we do. We win 2-0. Barella with both, and Arsenal 3 points, and now only 2 behind Man City. And talking of City, we now have them in the Carabao Cup final. So obviously this is our first time in the final of this competition. We haven't won it yet in the first 2 years. So obviously we really want to try and win it this time out. This is the team we're going to be going with. So it is our second 11. It is our cup team. But obviously it's a strong team. Perrin is in goal. Gaia, Ake, Demirel, Klosterman at the back. Pereira and Willock comes in. Unfortunately, Barella is suspended apparently for picking up too many yellow cards. Martinelli, Maddison, Trincao, and then Aubameyang up top. Let's jump into this here. Like I said, our first Carabao Cup final. Not going to be easy against City, but it would be great if we could lift that trophy. So here we are at Wembley Stadium for the final of the Carabao Cup. It's kind of started to become a bit of a second home for Arsenal in the last few seasons with our wins in the FA Cup and our trips there in the semi-final, obviously the Community Shield, and now into the Carabao Cup. So there was our route to the final, and there you can see City's route to the final as well. So let's get into this now. 90 minutes away from another trophy. Here comes City now with Sane. It's gone out wide to Gundogan. Cross comes in. Arsenal get it away with Torreira and Maddison. Oh, look at the space on that far side, but he's actually gone straight through the middle to Aubameyang. Can he finish it? He does. What a finish from Aubameyang. That's what I'm talking about with a true striker. When he's in a scoring position, he just scores. And that is why I love Aubameyang. And what a start in this Carabao Cup final. I thought he might have gone out wide to Trincao, but cut straight through the middle. And what a finish that is. Right into the top corner. the outside of his boot. It's an absolutely... Oh, it's not in the top corner, sorry. It's actually almost been saved by Ederson. But it doesn't matter anyway. Arsenal lead 1-0. And Bernardo Silva's found some space down his right-hand side. Gets the cross in, but it's too close to Perrin. Perrin will go quickly out to Trincao. He'll go to Willock. Nice little 1-2 and Trincao's away. He's ahead of Gundogan. Now all he just needs to find is someone in the middle. And Martinelli's coming in at the back post, but it's forward to Aubameyang! And Arsenal again cut through City. And it's that man. How can I get rid of him? He's just so good. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. His second. Arsenal's second. And they just absolutely love playing against City. It's an assist from Cancelo by the looks of it. Look at this. He heads it. Oh, you're not going to see. But it's actually Cancelo who heads it across to Aubameyang. And he taps it into the empty net. Here's Aubameyang. What a ball that is to Trincao. He's got to pick the pass now to Maddison. Oh, he's underhit it. And the chance is gone. Oh, and Perrin's lost it. And the cross comes in. Oh, my God. How have we got away with that? Here comes Martinelli now. He brings it out. And Arsenal on the counter again. Can he find Trincao on the far side? He can. That's a great first touch. But on his weaker side, no power. Easy for Ederson. And here come Arsenal again. City were caught high up the pitch. And in comes Martinelli. Can he find Maddison? He can. Can he find Aubameyang? And it's a first half hat-trick for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at Wembley. And Arsenal have taken complete control of this final. City, they just play into our hands so beautifully. They play so high up the pitch. There's so much room in behind that the pace on the wings, we can just exploit it. And it's 3-0. And that is the half-time whistle. Couldn't have asked for a better first half here. And it looks like Arsenal are going to be securing some more silverware. Just need to make sure we don't do anything stupid in this next 45. We've been clinical on the counter. That space will continue to be there. Let's get into this second half. What a pass that was, by the way, for Aubameyang's first goal. Let's get into the second half now and secure the trophy. Torreira's done really poorly there. He's giving it straight to Sané. And Perrin saves the blushes there of Torreira. And here come Arsenal now on the counter. It's 3 against 1. Maddison, will he go alone? He does. Selfishly. And he hits it straight at Ederson. It's the last 15 minutes now. We can send on some of our youngsters. Nelson, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah all come on. It's gone out to Nelson. He sent Willock through. Can he finish? Oh, it's saved by Ederson, but it's fallen kindly. And Emil Smith Rowe has gone and got himself a goal at Wembley. Almost silence from half of the stadium here. The City fans can't believe what they're seeing. Willock was allowed to run. Ederson did well to save, but no one picked up Smith Rowe. And he's just come on. And he's bagged himself a goal in a cup final. But Arsenal away. And here's Nelson now. Plays a 1-2 of Nketiah. Can he find Nketiah on the return pass? He can. Nketiah's through. Can he make it 5 for Arsenal? Oh, I went for the finesse. Cheeky finish. Maybe I should have just drilled it. It doesn't really matter, but Nketiah couldn't get himself a goal either. It still stays 4-0. Here's Nketiah now, probably the last chance of the game. Nelson's going outside him. Smith Rowe's at the back post. Can he find him? He does! Oh, and he's hit the post. And there it is. There's the full-time whistle. And Arsenal have themselves another piece of silverware. That first half of hat-trick from Aubameyang really killed it as a contest. And the second half they held strong. City, they didn't really do much with it. And Smith Rowe came off the bench and even got himself a goal in the cup final. And what a result it was, which I'm really happy with as well. The last few games I've been playing for you guys, I've been struggling to score goals. I think we've had like 3 or 4 1-0 wins in a row and even a couple of 0-0. So not been the most exciting affairs. So glad I could finally score some goals and give you something to actually enjoy watching. And here we go now. We will watch the Carabao Cup presentation. And our captain, our leader, Aubameyang, is there to collect once again. And Arsenal, they have another trophy to add to their cabinet. So the cup competitions keep on coming here in this video. And next up, we have a 5th round tie against Bristol City. So we'll jump into this here again, giving our youngsters a chance. Nketiah, Smith-Rowe, Nelson Willock all getting a chance to start in this game. Do we get ourselves a result? Of course we do. Nketiah with 2, Willock with another, and Arsenal are through to the next round of the FA Cup. So finally we are back to some Premier League action here, and you can see we are still 2 points behind with 11 games to go. So we're going to simulate this here against Brighton, back to our first 11 team. Need to get ourselves another 3 points, keep the pressure on. And we do. Jovic with a hat-trick. He is really trying to prove that he still has a place at this squad. Since January, it's been unbelievable. Remember when we looked at it earlier on in the video, he'd scored 5 goals in the Premier League. But just before we end the video, we've got the matter of our second leg tie in the Champions League up against Napoli. Now, obviously, we have a 4-2 lead from the first leg, and therefore I would hope that we're going to progress. We're definitely in a strong position too, but no time to be complacent. We're going to go with our best possible team again, and hopefully we can get the job done. So here we go, strongest team again. Can we get the result that sends us through? Oh, we can. We win 3-0. Convincing 7-2 aggregate over the 2 legs. Pepe with 2, Jovic with a goal. Only downside, Salah picks up an injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. And it is. He's actually broken his collarbone. He is out for 2 months, which means pretty much most of the season. He's going to be back in May, so he'll maybe be back for the last couple of Premier League games and the finals of FA Cup and Champions League if we get there. But that's a big blow. But what it does mean is it gives Ake a chance to step up and prove himself once again. And there we go. Our next game is a quarter-final tie against Brighton in the FA Cup, which we will be playing. But I think that gives a good time to leave the video there. We will kick off episode number 5 with that game. So it's been a good couple of months. We've kept pace with City at the top of the table. We've reduced that gap from 4 points down to 2, but obviously they are still continuing to win. Liverpool and United both in hot pursuit, but are that little bit further back now. So I think it's probably going to be between us and City this year. Look at that. They've scored 85 goals, which is absolutely ridiculous. They're averaging 3 goals a game, but with 10 games to go, it's all to play for. We're obviously also in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and as I mentioned there, the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So starting to get to the business end of the season now. Our next 2 episodes will obviously be really packed with action. A lot of games to play, a lot of games to get through. Hopefully the more games the better, because that means we're progressing in our cup competition. So make sure you come back and check that next video out very soon. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and give the video a thumbs up. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will see you all next time.